May 1, 2024. EU condemns crackdown on protests against controversial bill in Georgia. Marjorie Taylor Greene promised Mike Johnson ouster attempt next week. UCLA replaces student IDs with new fashionable identifying armbands. Columbia University mob is finally unmasked. Anti-Israel protesters who stormed campus in face coverings are marched barefaced onto NYPD bus and driven past cheering locals. Israeli PM under pressure over feared ICC arrest warrant. AstraZeneca admits its vaccine could cause potentially fatal side effects. Girl heard monsters in her bedroom wall. It turned out to be something much worse. It's safe to say that Trump still has no idea how inflation works. Columbia chaos. Outside agitators came to NYC campuses to radicalize students in pro-terror protests, says Mayor Adams. Gen Z is finding it easier to buy a home compared to past generations. This is Johanna King-Slutsky, a PhD student studying poetry through a Marxian lens. She demanded humanitarian aid so her comrades wouldn't die of dehydration and starvation. DEA expected to reclassify cannabis in historic shift. F-16s could arrive in Ukraine this month, says official. EEOC Commissioner blasts new federal workplace guidelines for erasing women's rights. Want to know how to reduce gun crime? Look at Detroit. May 2, 2024. Huawei secretly backs U.S. research, awarding millions in prizes. Hot seat. Your responses here are unsatisfactory. Mastermind of Wuhan lab funding takes beating on Capitol Hill. Another Boeing whistleblower dies suddenly after claiming supplier ignored safety flaws in 737 MAX production, just months after former quality control manager was found shot in his truck. Israeli surveillance technology and spyware sold to Indonesia. Your globalist bank is an active enemy combatant plotting against you in a financial civil war and political purge. Israeli weapons firms required to buy cloud services from Google and Amazon. Los Angeles. Cops clear UCLA encampment after reportedly firing tear gas and rubber bullets in 3-hour battle with pro-terrorist protesters. The gospel itself would meet the definition. House passes confusing bill to penalize anti-Semitism and it might destroy the First Amendment. DeSantis signs legislation banning lab-grown meat. Police move to end Portland state standoff. The crypto bros are back, and they have a dangerous goal in mind. Alleged time traveler. Florida man sneaks into shed, comes out way older day later. Surprise. Literal terrorist visits pro-terrorism encampment at major university in Chicago. Cholera is making a comeback, and the world doesn't have enough vaccines. Police at UCLA use stun grenades and breach barricades. 90 arrested at Dartmouth. May 3, 2024. Police remove pro-Palestinian students from Paris's Sciences Po University. Boeing sadly announces whistleblower shot self in back while falling off skyscraper directly into wood chipper while wearing cement shoes. For sale. Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book of the Rich and Famous. Scales of injustice. Election interference. Bragg case gag order puts unprecedented limitations on Trump campaign. The ruins that could prove the Bible was true. Stretch of wall in ancient Jerusalem vindicates the Holy Book's account, archaeologists claim. Trump delivers pizza to NYC firefighters after day in court. Robert De Niro on Trump. He's not just a bully. He's a stupid bully. Gridlock. Demolition begins on I-95 bridge after massive tanker fire, sparking traffic nightmare as area schools closed. U.S. economy adds 175,000 jobs in April, a hiring slowdown. My dudes, check out this new report of big tech listing the times they censored info because Biden's White House pressured them. A hobbyist photographer snaps photo of an extremely rare bird in first U.S. sighting. Former Trump prosecutor pleads the Fifth on probe and refused to answer if he violated Trump's constitutional rights. Jews didn't kill Jesus, says U.S. House of Representatives. America needs to grow up. Chinese scientists claim to find new life for old in the blood of the young. Trump defense details sleaze and life of attorney to the porn stars. The blindness of elites. Alleged cannibal accused of devouring victim's face. Charged with murder in Vegas. How a black man reacted when a white pro-Hamas supporter told him he couldn't walk around UCLA. Little Fuzzy. Stormy Daniels' attorney grilled on celebrity extortion. May 4, 2024. India and Japan dismiss Biden's xenophobic comment. Hulk Hogan, hurricanes, and blockbuster recording. A week review of the Trump hush money trial. Mark Hamill joins Death Star press conference to say what a good job he thinks the emperor is doing. Anti-Israel protesters at George Washington University project Genocide Joe over American flag. The moment Trump defied gravity is back to haunt him. Biden care. Republicans rip Biden admin for providing taxpayer-funded health care to illegal immigrants. The devastating truth is that broken, bedraggled Britney is her own worst enemy. Now, Maureen Callahan admits, I sorely regret calling for the end of her vital conservatorship. Hicks takes the stand, breaks down in tears. Jurors read rage tweets. Stormy a horseface. Trump fumes. Our country is going to hell. Day 11 full rundown. Air pollution, not COVID vaccine, behind rising heart attacks, says study. Prosecutors admit Trump evidence has been tampered with, and stunning revelation. Major banking app crashes leaving thousands unable to access their accounts. Mystery group announces $5 million fund to pay for reports of election fraud. What could go wrong? Silver spoon of hate. Violent Colombia protester is heir to ad empire, has mansion, model baby mama, and long rap sheet. The DEA is looking to ease restrictions on marijuana and reclassify it as a Schedule III drug. Just in time for election season. EU state rules out international Nord Stream probe, says RIA. It was a trap. Iran says student crackdowns removes mask of hypocrisy from U.S. face. Jewish organizations abruptly pull out of meeting with Biden admin after addition of left-wing groups. Activist groups train students for months before campus protests. Trump slams Jack Smith for jumbled Mar-a-Lago documents, court says are out of order. May 5, 2024. Netanyahu government votes to close Al Jazeera channel in Israel. People blocking students from college based on race, probably on right side of history again. The growing list of global VIPs who detest Elon Musk. Battle plans. Left-wing groups and longtime activists reportedly trained anti-Israel protesters for months. Trump goes on expletive-ridden rant at Jack Smith and Fani Willis and likens himself to notorious gangster during fiery Mar-a-Lago speech, where he teased who his preferred VP is. Thou shalt not. Atheist group isn't safe due to massive 10 Commandments display splashed on jail's wall. Trump on tape, Biden admin Gestapo. U.S. campus protesters on right side of history, says Turkish students. I'm sick myself. CNN's Chris Cuomo says he has suffered side effect from COVID shot. Woman suffered catastrophic spinal injury after band's lead singer stage dived at gig. Jets brutal slam. Newly surfaced video shows moment Jets cornerback loses control of sports car at 84 miles per hour, runs motorist off-road in horrifying crash. Cicada double invasion to utterly cover parts of the U.S., ecologist says. Thanks to a new law, your brainwaves are now legally protected in Colorado. Driver dies after crashing into White House perimeter gate, Secret Service says. Elementary school teacher arrested for making out with fifth grader. Everything's on fire. Inside the nation's failure to safeguard toxic pipelines. The West has invented a magic phrase to hide its geopolitical games. The Maple Leafs Cup drought hits 57 years with another Game 7 loss and another one at the hands of the Bruins. Pro-terrorism agitators ruin graduation ceremonies nationwide. How lip gloss became the answer to Gen Z's problems. Baby boomer professors join protests, risking arrest and violence. How Pope Francis opened the Vatican to transgender sex workers. May 6, 2024. Russia announces nuclear weapon drills after provocative Western threats. Israel tells civilians to leave Rafah as it weighs attack. Met Gala opulence is always gross. This year, it's obscene. You don't say. Democrats and liberal media suddenly discover Soros and company are funding radical left causes dragging Biden down. Chinese scientists create mutant Ebola virus to skirt around biosafety rules, and it causes horrific symptoms and kills group of hamsters. Never lost hope. Trump's legal team returns to court after Bragg's own witness implodes case. He just won't answer. Scott refuses to say if he'll accept election results. Nightmare bombshell. Bill Gates confesses to illegally testing nanobots on humanity via mRNA injections. Woman arrested after 5-month-old baby suffers cardiac arrest at Legoland. God had his hands on the pastor. Man's gun jams as he attempts to shoot Pennsylvania preacher. China makes cheap electric vehicles. Why can't American shoppers buy them? Lord of Rings and Titanic actor Bernard Hill dies at 79. Sea drone warfare has arrived. The U.S. is floundering. Russian intelligence claims U.S. wants to replace Zelensky. Biden's awkward pause in front of the press sparks an embarrassing theory. Colombia cancels main graduation ceremony after weeks of protests. How Putin is forging a harsh Russian society that threatens the global order. May 7, 2024. UN pushes Iran for concrete cooperation on atomic program. Free Palestine. Protest crashes memorial ceremony at Auschwitz. Accuses Israel of another genocide. Trump deletes rage post on Stormy Daniels testifying today. Trojan horse. Email reveals effort to bring Chinese-owned firm flagged as national security threat to U.S. heartland. Ex-CNN reporter claimed she's haunted after dining with closeted Trump fans and is shocked they attended Ivy League college. Today, Stormy on the stand? Trump in contempt again. Warned of jail time. Defended Don Wines after court. Foreign minister warns of more Gaza wars till two-state solution. I'll make that sacrifice any day. Trump says Constitution more important than jail as judge threatens imprisonment. UCLA detectives used January 6 tactics to find masked mob members who attacked pro-Palestinian camp. King Charles gives Harry ultimate snub after son traveled 5,500 miles to the UK. Rolling in. IDF tanks roll over I Heart Gaza sign and soldiers plant Israeli flags in Rafah as ground assault intensifies. Russia vows to use all means to defend against U.S. amid nuclear drills. Governor Kathy Hochul says, "We have, young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is." Nancy Pelosi backs Democrat efforts to keep Mike Johnson in speaker position. U.S. delaying major arms deliveries to Israel. China doesn't want new Cold War with U.S., but Trump 2.0 would worsen rivalry. Police outside Drake's Bridle Path mansion after shooting in the area, unclear if rapper was home. Another female athlete just boycotted a competition against a trans woman. May 8, 2024. Trump's hush money trial progresses as 3 others hang in limbo. 12 women come forward alleging they were sexually assaulted by whoever Trump's VP pick is. The swamp always wins. Mike Johnson expects to lead House Republicans after election. Why is Trump denying he banged a porn star? RFK Jr. reveals a parasitic worm ate part of his brain, leading to temporary memory loss. Marjorie Taylor Greene chickens out on Johnson ouster. Russia launches wide attacks on Ukrainian energy facilities. Trump classified document trial postponed indefinitely days after mishandled evidence bombshell. Why is AstraZeneca pulling a COVID vaccine that saved over 6.5 million lives? Fit checked. Leader of Hamas cheering radical activist groups among 50 arrested as cops cleared fit anti-Israel encampments. Legendary forecaster warns of violent correction to stock market. Here's what that could look like. The Taliban affirms that stoning will be a punishment for adulterers, especially women. Panera to stop selling charged lemonade amid 2 wrongful death lawsuits. Biden's biggest challenge. How do you even spend $1.6 trillion? New York governor apologizes for black kids' comment. I could not feel greater despair. World's top climate scientists expect global heating to blast past 1.5 degrees Celsius target. COVID subcommittee asks Biden to declassify docs that credibly suggest where COVID originated from. In Arizona, election workers trained with deepfakes to prepare for 2024. May 9, 2024. Biden says U.S. will withhold weapons from Israel if it invades Rafah. Dead worm found in RFK Jr.'s brain already polling higher than Biden in 10 states. Evangelicals see Trump's hedonism as godly masculinity. 3 Boeing crashes in 2 days. Terrified passengers scramble off fiery jet, tire explodes on 737 landing and 767 slams into runway. How crypto giant Tether's new CEO is remaking the company for the apocalypse. Stormy on the stand, defense set to question Daniels after salacious testimony from prosecution's wildcard witness. Boda signs LNG trade deal with ExxonMobil. bird flu likely to infect more humans, Bloomberg claims. Are you a Zionist? Checkpoints at UCLA encampment provided fear and debate among Jews. Elon Musk's Neuralink encounters problem with first-in-human brain implant. Eric Adams offers $5,000 of his own money as part of a reward for info on vandals who attacked a World War I memorial. Miss Teen USA 2023 resigns title only 2 days after Miss USA similarly stepped down. Hungary rolls out the red carpet for Chinese President Xi Jinping. Don't blame Jack Smith for the erosion of the rule of law. Biden blasted for unprecedented support of Islamic terrorism. Johnson says Biden's senior moment to blame for Israel aid decision. Top Republicans, led by Trump, refuse to commit to accept 2024 election results. May 10, 2024. UNRWA closes HQ in East Jerusalem after Israeli mob arson attack. Bob Iger insists Disney stock drop not caused by failure of latest movie, Gay Black Pinocchio protests for Palestine. American company purchases 5 Korean Air jets and could turn them into doomsday planes. Charles's brutal rejection shows Harry not welcome in UK. World told to brace for severe geomagnetic storm today, the first in nearly 20 years, with feds warning power grids, cell networks, and GPS satellites could be hit. Tough love. 16-year-old agitator arrested for defacing World War I memorial after dad turns him in. Biden's doomsday weapon threat to Israel is no false alarm. Polish PM Tusk hijacks parliamentary debate to accuse conservative opposition of being Russian-paid servants. 2 women in their 80s filmed trying to smash glass protecting Magna Carta. U.S. still sending weapons to Israel despite holding up bomb shipment over Rafah assault plans. Georgia Election Board hearing confirms Fulton County double-scanned thousands of ballots in the 2020 election recount and lost hundreds of thousands of ballot images. Yes, Apple's new iPad ad is ugly and crushing, but art can't be flattened. AstraZeneca withdraws COVID-19 vaccine worldwide. Parent fundraising to staff their own child's school in Portland is off the table. What comes next is uncertain. EU state arrests people for celebrating World War II victory over Nazis. What happened to Jerry Seinfeld? South China Sea. Strong Beijing reaction likely if Manila continues to push. Judge strafes Trump's legal team after Stormy Daniels' testimony ends. Trump flaunts his corruption. Corporate America is sitting out the Trump-Biden rematch. Top Border Patrol officials say Biden appointees silenced them for years. Paul Manafort, poised to rejoin Trump world, aided Chinese media deal. May 11, 2024. Biden's pause of military aid to Israel has long historical precedent. Northern lights dazzle skygazers as extreme solar storm hits Earth. Trump campaign considering Nikki Haley for VP. Stormy Daniels offers hush money to courtroom sketch artist to please stop drawing her. NYU should rip Trump backers' name off its new Death Star. Horrific moment, transgender killer strikes man walking down road at high speed with Dodge Challenger, reverses over him, straddles and kisses him before stabbing him 9 times. Yo ho ho, revelry comes to an end for party pirates who once ruled $14.2 million Beer Can Island. Big Biden admin report. Reasonable to say Israel violating international law, but U.S. arms can keep flowing. Even if it's full term. RFK Jr. clarifies his support for abortion even at the point of birth. Vogue model Sion Scale dies aged 28 from rare cancer. Melania Trump says hell no to Barron serving as a GOP delegate. Prosecutors may come to regret putting Stormy Daniels on the stand. All-out mayhem. Raging Harlem mob surrounds suspect who allegedly slashed girl, 11, after punching woman, 43, as NYPD cops protect him. UN General Assembly votes to give new rights and privileges to Palestine. The Met Gala has fueled backlash against stars who are silent about the Gaza conflict. U.S. prepares to send Ukraine another $400 million military aid package. I've been doing it for months. Oregon police chief confessed immediately after worker reported missing drugs. Nikki Haley's zombie campaign keeps rolling up voters. Joe Biden wants to win them, while Donald Trump doesn't care. Switzerland rejects Russian claim it's no longer neutral. Lightning fast. China urged to watch out as U.S. chases unmanned AI-driven F-16s. Boxer Christy Martin stoked on Sydney Sweeney casting. Ready to train together. The alleged Boneheads NFT scam saw buyers lose millions. How one man traced it to a flashy couple near Belleville. Hell freezes over. CNN host says Biden must go back to Trump's immigration policies. A guilty verdict? Donald Trump and allies brace voters for the worst. Democrats look to flip the script on border security as Republicans decry political stunt. May 12, 2024. Mother's Day surprise. More women with children are working than ever before. Clever. Jews charging up space laser tell everyone those are just the northern lights. Wokest Eurovision ever. Switzerland's non-binary rapper Nemo wins. The queers are coming, declares Ireland's Witch Bambi Thug. Gold bars, basement carpeting, and envelopes full of cash. These are just some of the items that prosecutors say bought off a U.S. senator. Bill Maher drops Stormy Daniels' bombshell as he airs 2018 interview with porn star that undermines her Trump trial testimony. Stand up and walk out. Anti-Semitic Duke students exit during Jerry Seinfeld's commencement speech. Gloves off. Trump erupts on Biden at Jersey Shore. Your tax dollars at work. In 2 years, $7.5 billion has produced just 7 EV charging stations. Catholic priest stuns worshippers with wildly vulgar sermon. Trump's RNC is pulling back on its plans even as Trump refuses to accept a loss. New Swiss Army knives in some countries won't have the knife because it's considered a weapon. U.S. medical volunteers and Rafah hospitals say they've never seen a worse health crisis. Howard University cancels graduation as family members smash windows after venue reaches capacity. Former U.S. Marine pilot arrested in Australia worked with Chinese hacker, lawyer says. Israeli Eurovision singer added to Ukrainian kill list. PLA Navy sends destroyers on anti-missile, anti-sub drills in South China Sea. The way Clarence Thomas describes D.C. is truly terrifying. There's not enough power for America's high-tech ambitions. Biden blasts Trump as clearly unhinged. Something snapped. In top races, Republicans try to stay quiet on Trump's false 2020 claims. May 13, 2024. Australian court lifts social media ban on Sydney church stabbing video. The sleazy rise and humiliating fall of Ashley Madison. Watch the moment California Governor Gavin Newsom is humiliated at his own press conference after blowing $24 billion on homelessness without any results. The fix is in. Convicted liar pressed on message to Trump ahead of hot seat as prosecution star witness. Ashley Biden confirms diary is real in letter to judge. We checked in with Hollywood writers a year after the strike. They're not okay. Children used as human guinea pigs because it was cheaper than lab chimpanzees. A new U.S. government study claims that up to a quarter of urban air pollution is from cooking food. Haiti's notorious gang leader, Barbecue, says his forces are ready for a long fight. Michigan mom spends first Mother's Day at home with her kids since waking up from a 5-year coma. India and Iran sign long-term port deal. Manager of Hong Kong trade office in London and 2 others bailed on spying charges. Jennifer Lawrence says Mike Pence wins Weirdest Dick Award. Patients are routinely being diagnosed with cancer in busy Canadian emergency rooms, doctors warn. Investors crowd into soft landing trade ahead of inflation data. May 14, 2024. Harris utters a profanity in advice to young Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders. Latest polls show Biden will need twice as many fake ballots to win election this year. GameStop extends meme rally as retail traders pile in. MSNBC's Psaki busted in lie. Book claims Joe didn't check watch during transfer of troops' caskets. Correction coming. Gold Star parents say constant pattern from Biden team. How the Miss USA pageant ended up such a hot mess. The mysterious suicide that rocked Washington. How drug lobbyist linked to the Clintons was found dead at an ultra-exclusive golf club frequented by presidents and left just a 3-word note. How much is Stormy Daniels making off Donald Trump? Broken fix. Prosecutors trying to sell Americans on ex-gon's trust as convicted liar gives explosive testimony. Turkmen gas to be transported to Europe via Turkey, says minister. The religious orientation of trans ideology. The California exodus left a gaping population hole. Can the Golden State bounce back? Kicked off. Super Bowl hero slams Biden's delusional stance on abortion in commencement speech. Why do we let liars rewrite their own history? AI-generated spam is starting to fill social media. Here's why. Trump's attacks on his trial judges trigger widespread calls for violence. Russia fueling Indian economic growth, says Jaishankar. Mike Johnson joins the pathetic parade to the Trump trial. The New York Trump case is kind of perfect. Trespassers. Aspiring artists. And a huge entourage. Drake's Toronto mansion is a circus. Why? Joe Biden sure made some awkward remarks about Kamala Harris. Flood of fake science forces multiple journal closures. Inflation rose to 2.2% in Producer Price Index in April in bad news for the Fed. U.S. threats led to rupture of vital military ties, Nigerian leader says. May 15, 2024. Biden challenges Trump to 2 presidential debates. Trump says he's ready and willing. Slovakia PM Robert Fico in life-threatening condition after shooting. Stormy Daniels' husband says likely we will leave USA if Trump acquitted. Anya Taylor-Joy's Furiosa press tour is scaring people. Transanity. Keep the voices down. In unearthed video, doctors discuss putting mentally ill patients, including kids, on hormones. Put him up. Cocky Joe challenges Trump to TV showdown with Clint Eastwood quip as ex-president hits straight back. Biden moving forward with Israel arms sales, pushing back against GOP efforts. In major change, Google to use AI-generated answers in search results. Trump's private Boeing hits another jet at Florida airport. West Virginia voters reject January 6th rioter running for Congress. Toe to Joe. Biden challenges Trump to pair of debates, but only on his strict terms. U.S. man protesting Putin-style Georgia law left injured by police. Watch State Secretary Blinken play rockin' in the free world in a Kiev bar and marvel at the fact that you live in this timeline. Eric Adams says illegal migrants could help NYC lifeguard shortage. They're excellent swimmers. Nikki Haley gathers her donors and ignores Trump. Blinken tells Ukrainians to embrace conscription. Biden to send U.S. delegation to Taiwan to inauguration of William Lai. Magician David Copperfield accused of sexual misconduct by multiple women. Biden simply does not believe his bad polling. They should all be executed. Trump's attacks on judges spur online calls for violence. 3 reasons Biden wants to control debate rules. May 16, 2024. U.S. military says Gaza Strip Pier project is completed and aid to soon flow as Israel-Hamas war rages on. House Democrat says we should cancel DNC. Things looking awfully like 1968. Biden asserts executive privilege over her audio files ahead of House contempt proceedings against Garland. Out of service. Just asking for trouble. Republicans sound alarm on RNC security and Secret Service turns deaf ear. Backlash against Harrison Butker grows. NFL slams Chiefs kicker after controversial commencement speech is petitioned to cut him surges, but not everyone agrees. Xi and Putin hail ties as stabilizing force in chaotic world. Trinity of Satan. King Charles III's official portrait is clearly demonic. The nationwide right-wing attack on reform prosecutors is now an attack on abortion rights. Migrants from around the world have made this stretch of California the top place to enter the U.S. illegally. Town hit by explosive diarrhea forcing school to close. Trump's legal troubles are drowning state Republicans in a financial flood of their own making. Why are so many more Gen Z identifying as LGBTQ+? Up to a third of illegal immigrants are registered to vote, according to a new study. Potentially high enough to overturn the will of the American people. U.S. Capitol Police investigate bag of cocaine found in hallway at Capitol Police HQ. Senior Senator and criminal defendant. The strange twin identity of Bob Menendez. Trump and allies are laying the groundwork to contest potential election loss. Slovakia faces civil war, says Interior Minister. China did not try to sway 2020 presidential election, U.S. intelligence chief says. Columbia professor says academic atmosphere irreparably harmed. Here are the prominent Republicans backing Biden over Trump. Chiefs Harrison Butker roasted by Kansas City's X account. The View's top race baiter says there are too many white people at Trump's trial. Russian spacecraft tested components for anti-satellite weapon, U.S. says. Lone wolf charged in shooting of Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico. May 17, 2024. French police kill man suspected of setting fire to synagogue in Rouen. Israel tells World Court South Africa case makes a mockery of genocide. The first aid shipment has been driven across a newly built U.S. pier into the Gaza Strip, the U.S. military says. AI eats the web. China attempts to end property crisis with broad rescue package. Federal court says parents can't opt K-5 children out of LGBTQIAAP2S plus curriculum, even with religious objection. Even Trump world cringes at MAGA morons crashing the trial. Man behind the curtain. Obama world's fingerprints are all over campus chaos. Cohen the dog fixer, Stormy the XXX-rated nun, and the shock moment that exposed the whole sham. Kennedy's riotous verdict on Trump's trial, and the real crime in this legal abomination. Garland and Wray launched election threats task force, sparking censorship concerns for 2024. An Israeli company is hawking its self-launching drone system to U.S. police departments. People have had explosive diarrhea because they have been drinking cow manure. The significance of Justice Samuel Alito's upside-down flag controversy. Scottie Scheffler, world's top golfer, charged with assaulting a police officer at PGA Championship. NBC is releasing Queer Planet, a documentary about, I kid you not, the rich diversity of animal sexuality. Governor Abbott pardons Daniel Perry, former Army sergeant convicted for shooting BLM protester in 2020. How to score Pappy Van Winkle and influence the OLCC. New records show clubby culture extended to powerful circles. Donald Trump wants to control the Justice Department and FBI. His allies have a plan. China slams U.S. for shifting blame over Ukraine conflict. You lost track of what Tucker Carlson is doing. It's even more embarrassing than imagined. The insurrectionists right here in our midst. The America First Chaos Caucus is forcing a moment of truth. Magic David called. David Copperfield repeatedly contacted Jeffrey Epstein. Chaos erupts in hearing as Green and Ocasio-Cortez clash over fake eyelashes jibe at Crockett. Devastating. Top CNN anchor and legal analyst stunned by Michael Cohen's implosion under cross-examination. May 18, 2024. Trump trusted more than Biden on inflation, a top issue for voters, poll shows. Egypt court overturns decision placing retired pharaohs and Ali football star Abu Trika on terror list. Congressman build special soundproof girl Congress next door so the men can get some work done. Video shows Sean Diddy Combs physically assaulting Cassie Ventura. How Harry and Meghan were welcomed to Nigeria by a fugitive airline boss wanted in the U.S. for over $20 million money laundering operation. Jacked up Joe. Trump demands drug test for Biden before next month's debate and says another blue state now in play. NATO members considering sending troops to Ukraine. 8 charged with kidnapping man held captive in neighbor's cellar for 26 years. Biden's China tariffs are the end of an era for cheap Chinese goods. These 4 New Hampshire daycare workers were arrested for sprinkling melatonin on children's food. Zombie second mortgages are coming to life, threatening thousands of Americans' homes. U.S. State Department announces alert for potential violence against LGBTQ+ community. Zelensky blasts West for wanting conflict to end. Dozens of China's regulators, bankers, and finance bosses in corruption net by May. Pardoned felons back in Trump's orbit for 2024 run. Hanging by a thread. Why Jack Smith's case is in peril. Police in Austin and San Francisco secretly skirted facial recognition bans. May 19, 2024. Biden is delivering Morehouse's commencement address during a time of tumult on U.S. college campuses. Bibi blocks Israeli intel chiefs' meetings with U.S. officials. Blue Origin launches 6 tourists to the edge of space after nearly 2-year hiatus. SNL ends season with Donald Trump and Christie Noem insanity. Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi is missing in helicopter crash as Tehran says his life is at risk amid frantic rescue mission, a month after he ordered missile barrage on Israel. The heat is wrong. Transgender high school runner born a boy claims girl state title and crowd doesn't filter reaction. UN chief warns of apocalyptic consequences of Gaza shortages. Wearing face masks did nothing to reduce risk of infection with COVID Omicron variant, says new study. California's first black land trust fights climate change and makes the outdoors more inclusive. We'll see you at your house. How fear and menace are transforming politics. Chuck E. Cheese is dropping its animatronic Munches make-believe band in all but 2 locations, and hopefully, my recurring nightmares go away too. Taiwan lawmakers descend into brawl. 1 civilian killed as Ukrainian drone strikes minibus, says governor. Coalition of the dissatisfied? Why China and Russia are winning friends in Africa. Why was Alito flying the flag upside down after January 6th? MSNBC legal analyst thinks blaming Bob Menendez's wife is a good tactic. That tape must be quite something. Biden's executive privilege move raises eyebrows. May 20th, 2024. ICC seeks arrest warrants against Netanyahu and Sinwar for war crimes. Iran's president killed in helicopter crash. Western leftists and globalists rush to offer condolences for butcher of Tehran. Wild drug-taking and illegal booze on Ukraine's front lines. U.S. Congolese father is killed while his son begs for his own life alongside Maryland cannabis dealer after they lead bungled coup to overthrow DR Congo president. Joe Biden claims he was vice president during the pandemic. Iran's president and foreign minister and others found dead at helicopter crash site, state media says. Satanists have returned to Hampshire Village 70 years after which left for the U.S. Pope Francis attacks conservatives as suicidal, tells 60 Minutes that people are all fundamentally good and the heart itself is good. Benedictine college nuns denounce Harrison Butker's speech at their school. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck smile as they're snapped together amid reports of marital strife. Assange wins right to appeal in U.S. extradition case. China-Iran ties to stay on course despite death of good friend President Raisi. The lynching that sent my family north. Britney Spears' conservatorship vital to survival. New reporting on drugs and surveillance. What Biden said at the NAACP dinner last night is why aides want to shorten his speeches. If Trump wins, what would hold him back? Judgment Day. No room for error. Electoral map hampers Biden's rematch with Trump. May 21st, 2024. ASML and TSMC can disable chip machines if China invades Taiwan. Slurring Biden makes shocking gaffe by announcing maimed American hostage as White House guest in front of his parents. Except he is still being held by Hamas. You're buying so much from Temu and Shine, the air cargo industry can't keep up. Mourners begin days of funerals for Iran's president and others killed in helicopter crash. Almost 50% of small businesses say they're not going to survive a second Biden term. Victim fined while reporting mugging because police didn't like his haircut. Indecent rubber articles and a suitcase full of dildos. Trump promotes unified Reich video, adding to alarming pattern. What's the problem? Zelensky challenges West over hesitations. World Economic Forum founder Klaus Schwab is stepping down and people are worried about who will take his place. Target is reducing prices on 5,000 common goods, including milk, butter, and pet food. Former Red Sox pitcher Austin Maddox arrested as part of underage sex sting. Passenger killed, 30 injured as Singapore Airlines flight hits severe turbulence. Russian human rights official calls for ban on Muslim face coverings. China sanctions former U.S. Congressman Mike Gallagher after trip to Taiwan. The Alitos let their freak flag fly high, and no one's gonna do a thing about it. The big AI risk not enough people are seeing. Stare me down one more time. Witness scolded by judge returns in Trump trial. Europe supports draconian practice of dumping migrants in North African desert. May 22, 2024. Norway, Ireland, and Spain recognize a Palestinian state in a historic move. Half of swing state voters fear violence around U.S. election. If Trump's acquitted, he'll be an unstoppable terror. Biden forgives another $7.7 billion in student loans for 160,000 Americans to bring total to $176 billion wiped. Feeling blue. Squad Democrats handed loss after member's sister fails in three-way race despite major endorsements. Ken Stunner. Rape scene in Trump biopic shocks audiences. Turkey and China sign cooperation deal on energy transition. U.S. government cartel paid CVS and Walgreens billions to reject ivermectin prescriptions and push COVID shots. Team Trump fumes over Apprentice film that depicts Trump sexually assaulting his wife. Germany just decriminalized possession of child porn and people tried to use community notes to say that wasn't true. Plastic junk? Researchers find tiny particles in men's testicles. Biden to sell 1 million barrels of reserve gasoline. Kremlin reacts to Blinken's claim Iranians are better off after president's death. Aileen Cannon gifts Trump bogus new fodder for his disinformation campaign. Ayatollah Khamenei leads funeral prayer for late president and foreign minister. The real meaning of Trump's unified Reich post. Majority of Americans wrongly believe U.S. is in recession, and most blame it on Biden. Is Oreo about to be the next Bud Light? Psaki's false claim about Biden puts her in hot water faces possible subpoena. May 23, 2024. Biden's fast food problem. Change in fast food prices and non-manager wage indices. Justice Department set to take antitrust action against Live Nation. FBI informant behind drone strike. I'm living a nightmare. Booked up. Trump's most iconic campaign tool is nowhere to be seen as he languishes in New York courtroom. Mom, 57, faces execution by gunshot to the heart in Taiwan for drug smuggling after 15 pounds of cocaine and heroin is found in her suitcase. Yikes! Alito let freak flag fly. China holds war games around Taiwan, vows flowing blood. Employee sues hospital that fired her for reporting COVID vaccine injuries to VIERS. This undisclosed WhatsApp vulnerability lets government see who you message. Suspicious minds. Alleged auction fraud at Elvis's Graceland estate catches eyes of interested FBI officials. AOC says the quiet part out loud. Trump practically has the legal version of an ankle bracelet around him. House committee approves release of evidence showing Hunter lied to Congress under oath. Multnomah County voters elect Nathan Vasquez as DA, ousting one-term incumbent Mike Schmidt. Mandela's vision of black unity fades as South Africa closes door to migrants. Blinken lobbies for striking Russia, say New York Times. CBDC bill. Why Republicans say they fear a central bank digital currency. Electors who tried to reverse Trump's 2020 defeat are poised to serve again in at least 3 states. May 24, 2024. No sign of attack on Raisi's helicopters, says Iran's military. They think they're better than you. Governor Hochul calls New Yorkers who turn out for Trump Bronx rally clowns. Kathy gets her Hillary deplorables moment. Kate may not appear in public for rest of year. Half of trainee doctors at UCLA's prestigious medical school are failing basic tests after dean, who's anti-white, ignored affirmative action ban and terrorized staff with DEI rules. Unpredictable. Dem council member calling for revolution disturbs her liberal colleagues with wild antics and threats. Technocrats developing new line of wearable AI devices to track data of user and anyone they come in contact with. This Supreme Court term was all about undoing democracy. Are Russia and North Korea planning an October surprise that aids Trump? Grim find. Bodies of 3 more hostages recovered from Gaza by IDF, including partner of Sheni Luke. Donald Trump's pattern of sowing election doubt intensifies in 2024. The Doge has passed away. To the moon, Kabosu. To the moon. Patrick Mahomes defends fellow Chiefs player Harrison Butker after speech backlash. Will the jury convict Trump? Here are the clues. Putin wants Ukraine ceasefire on current front lines. Trump's assassination fantasy has a darker purpose. Democrats see Supreme Court crisis in second Alito flag controversy. Is your drinking water system one of hundreds to be flagged for PFAS? Behind the scenes of Scarlett Johansson's battle with OpenAI. May 25, 2024. Israel strikes Rafah after top UN court orders it to halt offensive. Borrell says ICJ orders on Rafah are binding and Israel must obey. Biden's Justice Department keeps airing his family's dirty laundry. Navy commander says we're seeing more attempts by foreign nationals to penetrate bases 2 or 3 times a week. How a global seafood giant broke Red Lobster. 68 and stormy. Despite $75 million in taxpayer-funded security, violence is coming to DNC, officials fear. Harrison Butker makes outrageous claim as the Kansas City Chiefs star doubles down on misogynistic commencement speech telling female graduates to focus on being homemakers. This isn't a conspiracy. Watch RFK Jr. lay out how and why the CIA killed his uncle. New Nostradamus predicts exact date World War III will start. Not all votes are created equal. France just released a scratch and sniff stamp featuring the delicious aroma of a freshly baked baguette. Limited testing of raw milk for bird flu leaves safety questions unanswered. Italian teen set to become first millennial saint in Catholic Church. U.S. to blame for Iranian president's death, says Belarus. Trump's stop and frisk agenda. New video of Scotty Scheffler's arrest paints a very different picture. Racism is a threat to your health. Here's what cities are doing about it. Inside Rockefeller clan's intensifying feud with Exxon. Authorized to shoot me. Smith asks judge to silence Trump on alleged FBI assassination plot. May 26, 2024. Inflation doesn't mean what it used to. Tedros denied. World Health Organization failed to secure global pandemic treaty. Trump loses control. Donald is booed in brutal reception at the Libertarian National Convention in horror show for the RNC. Swatted away. BLM co-founder accuses LAPD of hoax targeting. Judge sets the record straight. Jordanian who tried to ram Marine base entered U.S. illegally via southern border. Teenagers will be forced into national service if conservatives win election. At least 8 killed in Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas as violent weather sweeps region. How safe is America's drinking water supply? PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray passes away unexpectedly at 30 years old. Fauci encourages Columbia med students to lie. Portland High School's Healthy Masculinity Club is the place for guys to not be guys. Hill GOP urges Trump to consider an establishment running mate. Maybe even Haley. Hamas armed wing says it has launched big missile attack on Tel Aviv. Nicki Minaj apologizes to fans. 6 are lawyers and God on cops. Durbin and White House seek meeting with Chief Justice Roberts as they continue to attack Alito. Farm workers exposed to bird flu, but testing isn't reaching them. Red Lobster's mistakes go beyond endless shrimp. Tech workers retool for AI boom. White House admits Bidenflation is literally crushing people. As crypto cash floods Washington, Congress eyes gentler regulations. May 27, 2024. China to host Sisi and Arab leaders to issue common voice on Palestinian issue, says Beijing. UN Palestinian Refugee Agency says attacks on Rafah horrifying. Musk's XAI raises $6 billion in bid to challenge OpenAI. Bombshell new emails reveal Joe and Hunter Biden used a visit to Sandy Hook Memorial Service to set up secret meet with Chinese over $10 million a year deal. Trial nears finale. Will defendant Don become convict Don? Spain pledges €1 billion in military aid to Kyiv as Zelensky visits. Nearly 50% of Americans believe they'll live to see climate change destroy the earth. General Hospital actor Johnny Wachter's slaying during LA theft sparks shock, anger, and mourning. Tattoos could trigger rare form of cancer. Spying arrests send chill through Britain's thriving Hong Kong community. Gender-fluid son of rich psychologist arrested for stabbing girls at AMC Theater, laughing the whole time. The new obesity drugs work, but it's a dilemma when people have to stop taking them. Judge denies motion to dismiss Alec Baldwin's Rust indictment. Biden's got a plan to protect science from Trump. Zelensky bodyguard told his men to surrender. U.S. lawmaker warns Beijing against unprovoked attack on Taiwan. Oregon movement to join Greater Idaho picks up steam. Lizzo reacts to being referenced in South Park Ozempic episode. Anxious Democrats want Biden to show more empathy on the economy. From Bunker Hill to Heartbreak Ridge, their sacrifices merit great memorials. COVID will still be here this summer. Will anyone care? May 28, 2024. Trump sham trial. Closing arguments today. Fixes in, Merchant lets prosecution get the last word. Child of famed Jewish family funded pro-Palestinian protests. What dress-wearing Richard Dreyfuss said about trans children, LGBTQ community, #MeToo, and Barbra Streisand during sexist and homophobic rant at $300 ticket Jaws screening. Ireland, Norway, and Spain officially recognized Palestinian statehood. Belgium commits to deliver 40 F-16 jets to Ukraine by 2028. Hollywood crews in crisis. Everyone's just in panic mode as jobs decline. The New York team prosecuting Trump began this trial with the end in mind, and it shows. Jenny on the chopping block? J-Lo's deal for $1 million per show Vegas residency in jeopardy as new album and concert tour flop. There is a manhunt underway to find the driver who burned rubber all over this Pride mural in Florida. After White's only job posting, tech staffing firm settles with DOJ and labor. Crowd cheers on Trump at NASCAR race in North Carolina. Dems in full-blown freakout over Biden. Moscow rebukes Biden's U.S. saved the world World War II claim. China's futuristic smart tank can turn drones against drones, images suggest. Republicans divided on pledging to accept 2024 election results. A CBS News report from over 40 years ago proves global warming is the ultimate hoax. Ohio's top election official slams Democrats for trying to change election rules to suit Biden. May 29, 2024. Colombia lawmakers pass bullfighting ban. Palestinian PM visits Madrid after Spain, Norway, and Ireland recognize Palestinian state. Asian Americans back teaching about slavery and oppose race in college admissions. J.D. Vance says De Niro at Trump trial mask-off moment for Biden regime similar to Hillary's deplorables attack. Trump boasted about sex with Stormy in Tahoe, athlete says. Floating dumpster fire. Amateur hour. Biden admin's floating Gaza pier problems go from bad to worse. This crypto billionaires fund could reap more than $1 billion from the FTX bankruptcy. Erdogan accuses UN, US, and Europe of complicity in Gaza attacks. Former Biden Homeland Security official criticizes free speech and cites disinformation impact on election. Trump keeps unintentionally revealing his low opinion of black people. Judge will consider felony charges against Trump today. Is China stockpiling resources to prepare for war? Guy who spent thousands to dress like a dog now wants to be a different animal because moving like a dog is too difficult. Judge allows Trump co-defendant to continue effort to count Fulton County election ballots. North Korea sends fleet of garbage balloons to South. Biden and Harris head to Philadelphia to rally black voters as dismal approval ratings persist. Mexico is about to elect its first female president. Her job: save the nation. Biden campaign starting to panic as Pennsylvania polls move in the wrong direction. May 30, 2024. China's president pledges more Gaza aid at summit with Arab leaders. Hamas announces Pride Month kickoff party on roof of very tall hotel. Marlo lays out case against merchants kangaroo court. We still don't know what all the charges are, and we're deliberating. This vagueness is clearly unconstitutional. Alito's excuses only raise questions about his marriage. Cancer-stricken King Charles will take part in the Trooping the Color ceremony next month and will inspect the soldiers from a carriage. NATO meets as pressure grows to let Ukraine hit Russia. Paralyzed then drowned. Veteran exposes the terrifying method used to euthanize people in Canada. NATO stages biggest drill since Cold War with 90,000 troops and 25 million pound tanks. Why are people so down about the economy? Theories abound. Donald Trump's popularity is soaring. San Francisco has been flying the appeal to heaven since 1964, but they just took it down 'cause it's extremist now or something. Jill Biden on The View. Trump can't put a sentence together, calls election rematch good versus evil. Why Trump's team thinks he can survive any verdict. Japan to steady UFO threat. Hong Kong 14 found guilty and 2 cleared over election plot to topple government. Donald Trump bear hugs Sam Alito at height of flag flap. How a U.S. far-right group is influencing anti-gay policies in Africa. Termination shock, cut in ship pollution sparked global heating spurt. North Korea sends balloons with gifts of sincerity across border. There was a nasty surprise in them. May 31st, 2024. Trump supporters call for riots and violent retribution after verdict. America's seething right. Donald Trump found guilty of being Donald Trump. Wall Street billionaires are rushing to back Trump, verdict be damned. No surrender. Major GOP donors rallied behind Trump and pledged millions after guilty verdict. We're going to go all in. Trump still faces 54 more felony charges after hush money verdict. Canadian parents set to keep kids home from school for beginning of Gay Sex Pride Month. Donald Trump red in the face after making history as U.S.'s first felon president. The Access Hollywood tape nearly ruined Trump. Could newly reported footage finish him? If you need hope, check out the fire from regular folks who have finally decided enough is enough. Chad Daybell is found guilty in his zombie murder trial in Idaho. Biden secretly allowing Ukraine to launch long-range strikes on Russia. Trump convicted in historic first. Leader to pro-Palestinian U.S. students. You're standing on the right side of history. New memo shows Trump trial will have minimal impact on voters.